Hello, my name is Miss Emily, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to grow your own crystals. This is the November Your Library at Home kit from the library. In this kit, the library will provide a pencil, and you can't see it very well, but when you get yours, you can look at it. It's a Johnson County Library's pencil. Got all the Johnson County Library names on it. You'll get 10 pipe cleaners of a variety of colors, and you will also get 3 to 4 tablespoons of borax. So make sure to take a look at the directions for how to safely handle borax. You'll want to make sure to ask your grown-up to help you with that. And anytime you touch the borax, you want to make sure that you wash your hands right away. It is not dangerous to touch, but sometimes it can irritate the skin, so you just want to make sure to wash your hands, which is always a good idea nowadays, right? What you will need to provide is a jar to grow your crystals in. These are very small, so I would suggest getting a bigger jar or any type of heat-safe glass container, because you want to be able to see your crystals grow, and it has to be heat safe because the water that you're going to put in there is very hot. The borax solution that you'll make. That is the second thing you'll need is you'll need very hot water. Again, you'll need to ask your grown-up to help you with that. So why it's important to have a large jar, you can also have a small jar like this, but your pipe cleaners, you're gonna make them into shapes. And this is just one of the shapes I made. When you hang your pipe cleaner in your glass jar or into your borax solution, you want to make sure that it's not touching the sides at all. So I had made a really big, really cute heart with a full-size pipe cleaner, and I had to cut it in half because when I put the heart in the jar, it did not fit and it was touching the sides. So you want to make sure that you have something big enough or small enough, but your pipe cleaner has to be the size that will fit into your container. The other thing that you will need is some type of string, yarn, or thread at home, or ribbon, really anything that you can use to tie your shape, pipe cleaner shape, onto your pencil, and then to set on top of your jar. And that is how, my jars are sticky too, so my finger kind of got stuck to it. That's how you want it to look, except not rolling around. With your pipe cleaners, you want to twist them into shapes. So here I made just a little like accordion. I put it on this pencil. I just wrapped it around and made it very tight, and then took it off and then kind of squished it down into a little accordion shape. Of course, you saw my heart, and then my other just very simple, just folded it in half and wrapped it around and wrapped it around. And then it could be a butterfly or a 4-leaf clover. And then I just took the pipe cleaner at the end and started to bend it like that, and then bent it into a circle all the way up, and that's what I got. The person that did this, that I copied for this, said that you want to make sure that your pipe cleaners are very tight, because all of the crystals will grow around the pipe cleaner. And she said that if you have holes in your pipe cleaner, then you'll have holes in your crystal too. So I thought it would be fun to do a little experiment and see what the difference was between something like this that's super, super tight, something like this that's kind of tight, but has that hole right there, and then something like this that is basically one big hole. So we're gonna see how those all turn out and how different they are as well. And my fish is kind of like that too, because it's like one big hole. We need to put our pipe cleaner shapes onto your pencil before you want to heat up the water, because once you heat up your water and add your borax and make your saturated solution, you're going to pour it into the jar, and then you're going to stick your pipe cleaner in directly, because, oh, I even did this one wrong. I got to lift it up a little bit because it's touching the bottom. Because hot water makes the best crystals, or so I am told, but we'll see. So we want to tie our shapes onto our pencil, and I am doing individual ones. Each of my little jars is going to have one crystal in them, but if you have a big enough jar, you could do a whole bunch in one. Just make sure that they're not touching the sides, they're not touching the bottom, and they're not touching each other. Okay, so let's tie, and you want to thread your string somewhere in the pipe cleaner. And you could, if you wanted to, get a needle to thread it. It might make it easier. I'm just going to untwist mine a little bit till I find a little hole. Yes, there it is. And this will be something maybe your grown-up could help you with. And then just kind of push it through, and then I'll take this and twist it back up. And oops, I will kind of pull it until there's enough where you can tie it around your pencil. You might want to check to make sure that it's not going to touch the edges where it is. So this is about where mine would need to be tied. And I am at first going to do one little loop. And then I'm going to do a second loop. Don't want to pull it completely tight up to the pencil, because then it'll be sitting a little bit out of the jar, and we want the whole shape submerged in our borax solution in order to grow our crystals. There. Then just snip the excess string or thread or yarn or ribbon off. And you could do multiple ones. If you're doing one jar, you can do multiple shapes on the same pencil, like this. Like that. But again, well, actually, let me get a clear one. That probably would work because they're not touching each other, the walls, or the bottom. Huh, look at that. But I have 6 jars, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do 6 individual ones. Okay. I'm going to, and again, that's what you want them to look like. I'm going to tie up the rest of my shapes and put them in the rest of my jars, and then go heat up my water, and I will be right back for us to make our borax solution. So the next thing that you need to do is get a hot water. So I have here 3 cups of water that I put into the microwave on high and got to where it was boiling. And I will add my borax solution. And what we want to make is a saturated solution of the borax and the water. And saturated solution is exactly what it sounds like. We want to make put as much borax in that will dissolve into the water. We want to keep adding borax until the water can't take any more borax. It's completely saturated. One way you can tell is if you're putting your borax into the water and you're stirring and it disappears. Then you need to keep adding more borax. It's about 3 to 4 tablespoons per cup of water. So I would start with just 1 cup of water and start out that way. And you can always, if you put too much borax in and your water is cloudy, then your crystals will grow cloudy as well. And if you like that look, go ahead and do that. That's no problem. I want to see everybody's crystals and how they turned out. Even if they're cloudy, I think that kind of looks pretty. It's almost like a geode. Some geodes are cloudy, and I think that looks pretty. But if you don't want cloudy crystals and your water is cloudy, just add a little bit more like boiling hot water into the solution and stir it up, and that should take care of it. So when you look at your solution, you want there to be like a little bit of borax at the bottom, that no matter how much you stir or no matter how much you heat up the solution, it doesn't go away. It's always there. I'm going to add I think while I was talking, my water got a little bit too cold, not hot enough. Like, it's not cold, but it's not super hot like I need it to be. So I'm actually going to go run and heat it up again, and then I'm going to come back. Well, no, I'm not going to run, because no running in the library, especially when you're carrying a big bowl of water, trip and fall, get books all wet. That's no good. No, I'm going to walk nicely to the back room and heat up my water again, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to put our borax in it. So I also have to put on my mask before I go out where there's other people. So you'll see you all soon. Okay, I am back, and all of my pipe cleaners are tied to their dowels or to their pencils, and my water is reheated and extra hot. So let's go ahead and add our borax. I don't know if you guys can see or hear that every time I dump it in there, it makes this fun noise. It starts to bubble a little bit. It's almost like a spell, makes me think of Hermione and Harry and Ron making the polyjuice potion. All right, let's start with that. And we'll start to mix. So I have 3 cups of water here so that I can fill all of my jars. So I put in not quite 6 tablespoons. As I said earlier, I think you should start with 1 cup of water and the 3 to 4 tablespoons of borax that you will get, and then you can go from there. So because the water is so hot, this dissolved pretty quickly. I can't hear any of the borax on the bottom, and I cannot see any of the borax on my spoon when I pick it up out. However, I think my water is kind of cloudy. So I'm wondering if I just didn't, maybe I just need to stir it a little bit more. It looks like it's maybe not so cloudy. I'll just try to stir it a little bit more. However, though, I think I may have added too much borax, and I need to get some more hot water and put it in here. Although it's kind of starting again to clear up a little bit, and I can see a tiny bit on the bottom, which is what we want for our saturated solution. We want there to be no, like our water's not able to take any more. And I got my borax out of a cardboard box, so now there's little pieces of cardboard in my solution as well, which probably won't look great on a crystal, so we're gonna just get those out of there. So yeah, I think that my solution is a little bit too cloudy. You can't really see to the bottom. Well, I guess you can, but it's not as clear. Well, I guess if you can see to the bottom, that's clear enough. All right, we're gonna try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna take all of my shapes and their dowels off, off, make a little pile. And then I'm gonna pour solution into, it also helps if you have some type of bowl or measuring cup that's got a little lip on it so that you can pour nicely. Yes, I feel like that's kind of cloudy. So what we'll do is we will fill a couple of these with the cloudy solution, and then I will go and make more with no cloud. So is that half? Let's do half and half. Okay. And then you submerge your crystals, and that's actually not even completely submerged. So I'll pour a little bit more in there because it didn't quite go over the top of my, should have made the string longer. So that's better. And make sure that it's not touching the wall or the bottom. I'll put little fish's turn. Well, that went in good. And let's do just this odd shape. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go get more water and add it to this solution. Then see if we can't get things a little bit, well, see again, this looks a lot clearer now. So let's see if it'll fit in one more, and we'll do one more. Oh, that might be a little bit too full. Let's pour a tiny bit more back in. All that butterfly and or four-leaf clover is gonna be hard, but I think I did it. I think it's not touching anything. It's close, especially over on this side. You can't see that. I'm gonna move my camera instead of move that because it is precarious. So over on this side, it looks like it might be touching the side a little bit. So let's just tiny bit over. Okay. All right, friends, I'm gonna go get more water. We'll see if we can get a clear solution. We'll fill these two, and then I'll come back. All right, I am back again with another solution. This one is less cloudy, and I think that this is the way to go, but we'll see. My other ones, I'm sure, will turn out beautifully. And if they don't, that's science, right? This is not a hard or extensive craft to do, so if I don't like the way it turns out, I can always try again. Oh man, is this gonna be only enough for, oh, it's not gonna be enough. Bummer. Okay, that's fine. We will make it work. Because I don't think I'm going to be heating up more water. Let's just see. I could always make the string longer on this too. That's possible. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So other than that, here are all, I'm just gonna make the string longer on this one so it goes all the way down instead of sitting just at the top of that. So here are all my jars. And you will need to let them sit overnight. So tomorrow we're gonna come back and look at them and see what they look like. So it's kind of late in the afternoon now. It's about 4:30. So I'll come back first thing tomorrow morning at 8-ish and take a look. And then I will take another look around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So that will be about 24 hours. Good morning. It is about 8 a.m. So about 12 hours since we put our crystals in our borax solution. And you can see that some crystals are forming on the top and a little bit on our shapes. And it looks like the solution cleared up, so I don't see that it's too cloudy. And there's a ton down at the bottom of the jar there. So it looks like it's going pretty good so far. I will come back in a couple hours and check again and see, and I can see that it looks like the crystals are growing better on our very compact and tight shape rather than our open and shape that has holes in it. Okay, we'll check back in a couple hours and see what our progress is. Hello, I am back to check on my crystals. So it is the next day at about 11 o'clock in the morning. So these crystals have been sitting in our borax solution for about 42, 44 hours-ish. I came yesterday around 4 and they just didn't look great. And I'm still not sure if they're supposed to look the way that if they look the way that they're supposed to look, but I figure how much longer are we gonna keep them in here? So we're gonna get them out, we're gonna do the next step, and then we'll see how they're looking. There are all my beautiful jars. So you want to take them out of the borax solution and put them to dry on a paper towel or towels. So this one, can't see that one, sorry my friends. This one looks like super cool. And this is our most compact one. So I would say that you want to make them as compact as possible because this looks very cool. So we are supposed to let them dry until they're completely dry so they won't crack. However, taking this one out of the jar, it's kind of hitting the sides, and I can hear that it's hard because it's clinking against the jar. And this one also too has like little crystals growing on top of it. You can kind of see they got stuck on there, so that's kind of a cool thing. You can change the towel or paper towels if it gets too wet. I will also come back and, like this one I can already see is soaking the paper towel under it, so I'll kind of turn it over to make sure it completely dries. You want it to completely dry so that the crystals don't break. Then you can take them out and kind of, do whatever with them. But they won't be so fragile if you let them dry completely. This is our fish. This one also got a bunch of crystals on to the bottom of it, which kind of looks cool. I don't know if you heard it drop there, but it sounds like it's pretty solid. I know that there are a lot of different ways that you can do this, grow your own crystals. I found a recipe that used salt that I thought was kind of cool, but it seemed a little bit labor intensive for even me to do, so I wasn't sure about doing it with littles. This is another one that's very compact that looks really cool. I liked this one the best because you don't have to put any food coloring in it. The crystals are the color of your pipe cleaners. So whatever color pipe cleaners you use is gonna turn out to be the color of your crystals. So this one grew a little crystal on the bottom, which is super fun. It's like a cave. And if I could remember my Nature Cat TV viewing, I would know what kind of crystal that was, but I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for crystals that grow up, and there's a name for crystals that grow down. And they're very similar names, stagtites and staglites, maybe. That would be a fun project for you and your grown-up to look up. And last, but definitely not least, is our heart. So I wasn't sure when I was looking at these through the jar that they did what we wanted them to do. But looking at them out of the jars, they look really cool. And I hope that yours turn out to look really cool as well. And I want to see pictures of all of your crystals and all the different shapes that you made and colors that you made, and then how you liked this experiment, if you thought it was fun, if you were worried like I was, and then how you felt at the end, if you're happy with your result like I am. And just remember, if you're gonna touch something that had the borax on it, you wash your hands. Oh, I broke my little crystals. Oh man. I broke them off the end of the black one. That's okay. So be very careful with them, like I said. Don't do what I did and break them. Another thing is that this has got a bunch of crystals at the bottom too. We'll see how that all comes out of the jar. But this solution, similar to our bouncy ball solution, this can be used again. So there's nothing else that you need to do with this except heat it up if you wanted to make more crystals. So, you can just heat this back up in the microwave and you could put more in there if you wanted. You don't need more water or borax solution. You can just reuse it. So thank you all for getting the kits from the library. And I'm really excited to know how this all went for you and if you like it. And I had a lot of fun, so I hope you do as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day.